Welcome to Sober University, your next step to successful recovery, with Cheryl Adler, who says if you are going to crave anything, crave living life to the fullest. Maximize all you have and squander nothing. This program provides information to help you get your physical, mental, and spiritual house in order. And now, the host of Sober University, Cheryl Adler.
With you a few months ago, they wanted to hear more and more about all different aspects of having a pet. And as you were saying, you were making a distinction between what is rescue, what is fostering. So just, take one aspect at a time so that our listeners can really grasp each aspect. And I think we were also agreeing how much we love our pets and how unconditional they are in loving us, because they live so much in the moment. They don't care about our salaries or what we look like or what we smell like. I think we smell very good to them, right. By the way. Right?
That's right, right.
And so, whether we brush our teeth or not is not an issue for them.
No, it's receiving love and caring and compassion and companionship.
Yes.
Is what most or many animals are looking for in their human counterparts.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we know that animals contribute a great deal to enrich our lives. They're very, as we were talking before, they are certainly the most natural antidepressant around. They can help with anxiety. They can uplift our spirits. I think they can even enhance our immune systems.
That's right. Studies have shown that contact with animals has a greater therapeutic effect than many other recreational activities, and the reason being it puts less demands on the human body when we interact with animals. It's not like we are running a marathon, which can be pleasurable.
Which I just would like to interrupt you and congratulate you, because you just completed
a half marathon.
That's
right. That's right.
Congratulations.
That's right.
That is so ambitious.
Yep, it was great. It was a great experience. It was a lot of fun, very pleasurable and therapeutic in a way. It did allow me to escape for hours and just be on my own and left with my thoughts and just enjoying the great outdoors. But on the other hand, going home and seeing my two dogs.
Your boys.
Yep, my boys was immensely more enjoyable.
Yes.
And it's because it puts less demands on the body. And as a result, our anxiety goes down, our
heart rate,
our blood pressure
yes.
drops, and we're able to relax more.
Yes, yes.
And for that reason, animals are being used in many different types of therapy, and whether it's going to hospitals or nursing homes, animals are playing an integral role in the treatment of patients.
Absolutely. I believe that I had mentioned this the last time we spoke together, and I'd like to reference a wonderful book written by a woman in recovery, and that book is called Pack of Two by Carolyn Knapp, K-N-A-P-P. And she talks about how rescuing and adopting her dog, whose name I believe is Lucy, made such a powerful impact in her recovery. So for people out there who are in recovery, you need to be in a very solid place when you make this kind of commitment. I'd like you to address that, if you could, Dr. Downing.
That's right. The last thing I would want to encourage is somebody to go out and rescue, adopt a pet, but not be able to care for that pet. So you do need to make sure that you're able to take care of yourself so that you can take care of another living thing. It's very, very important to make sure that everybody is healthy and that both the owner and the pet's needs are taken care of properly.
Right. It can't just be a romantic fantasy. It's based in reality. Can you afford your pet, whether it's a cat or a dog? Can you have high quality food? Can you take your dog for walks? Can you get veterinary care
when they get sick?
When they get sick, or even the maintenance,
Exactly.
the vaccinations.
Exactly.
So if a person is not quite at that stage of making the pet a full-time part of their life, can you share with us the other options people have in relating to these beautiful creatures that become so much a part of our lives?
Sure. So other than owning a pet, volunteering at local shelters is an excellent way to get involved and touch and help the lives of many, many cats and dogs and rabbits and birds that are at these shelters that are seeking human contact and affection. So volunteering at local shelters, very, very important.
Very
There's a
essential.
great need for this. There are many budget cuts across the country. They're affecting shelters
It's
all
devastating,
over.
really.
Some shelters are being forced to close.
Yes.
And volunteer help is greatly needed.
Yes, we have that going to happen in our own county, sad to say. And so maybe if there's an outcry and if there are enough volunteers, maybe there's a way to keep that going.
Exactly, with the budget cuts. Then there are many rescue organizations around.
How do people find these?
Best thing to do is go online, check the internet.
Is it good
search.
to call your local veterinarians?
You certainly can. Many of us veterinarians are working very closely with our local shelter,
That's
as well as
wonderful.
many rescue organizations. We work quite closely with them. They're bringing us animals they have rescued that need medical care, or they need a little extra attention. We're seeing many, many newborn kittens at this point.
Tell us about the kittens.
That are in desperate need of attention. Many are being found without their mothers
Oh my
for
God.
whatever reason, and are so young that they still need to be bottle fed, which is around the clock endeavor. And many of the staff at my hospital know all too well the demands of these newborn kittens, and there are many rescue organizations out there that are looking for foster homes. So if you're not ready to adopt, rescue a pet at this point in time, you can still have a hands-on role in nurturing and bottle feeding and loving a newborn kitten, and then getting them up to a healthy size and age, and then setting them up for adoption to go off and have a good life.
That sounds so immensely gratifying. It kind of reminds me of how people can go and feed sick babies in hospitals, and this is the same thing.
That's right.
Feeding
That's right.
A life in great need
That
of,
needs you.
of being, yes, they need you, they need us to help them grow. And where can people do this locally? Do we have, do they go to an animal hospital such as yours?
Like you said, speaking to a local veterinarian, we can, a lot of organizations in the area, we can give you the names, we can put you in contact with the founders of these organizations, and there's such a need for people to help out. I think to be more than thrilled to have everyone help.
Well, as we say, that would be a mitzvah. It would be a great blessing and a beautiful human deed to take a little time out of your own busy life and help save a kitten by feeding that little kitten. So that is a beautiful idea, and I hope our listeners will take that into consideration as something to do this spring. Can you tell us a little bit more about equine therapy? Because I think we touched on that the last time, and I think I'd like to explore that a little more deeply tonight.
Sure, it's very interesting. The premise is teaching people, children, adults, how to ride horses. That's the background to all of this. But in doing so, the person is able to develop emotionally and learn how to communicate effectively with another living thing, creature.
Absolutely, yes. Just if you think about the beautiful photographs of a horse, did you see the movie War Horse?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, that was one of the most powerful movies I've seen in a very long time, and I think I must have gone through about 3 boxes of Kleenex watching that movie.
Horses are very sensitive creatures.
Very sensitive.
They mirror the environment they are in. Certainly, if someone is afraid or aggressive, they will react to those emotions.
They're very tuned in because
very
of
much
their
so.
sensitivity.
Very, very sensitive. And then on the other hand, if someone's very gentle and compassionate, the horse responds to that in a very positive way.
Kind of like us humans.
That's right.
We respond in kind, don't we?
That's right.
Yeah. So if people are pissing us off and we're not evolved enough to step back and think of a kinder way to respond, we might want to kick them verbally the way a horse might want to kick you physically.
Exactly. So it strengthens bonds between people and animals, and they can then extend those bonds to other humans.
Yes, so that has far-reaching effects for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the big point is communication. You start to learn to interact with another living creature and not keep everything internal.
Yes, and that's a great word you're using, communication. As human beings, we are always associating communication with words, And yet, when we are communicating with animals, we don't need words, do we?
No, not necessarily. It's in a touch, a look.
It's a simpatico, isn't it?
Exactly. And they're so sensitive, they will pick up on cues that you are giving off without even a person realizing that they are giving those vibes. Yeah,
they really do tune in. That's for sure. I know my dog is actually having an evening of practicing doga, which is the animal form of yoga. She's doing that tonight in preparation for her spay tomorrow. She's at her personal spa right now. I don't know if we can get to. No, I guess we're not going to get to look at our any questions.
No questions.
No questions yet. Okay. Well, I was going to show off my dogs and your dogs, but we'll do that another time. We had hoped that they would come into the studio tonight and join us, but they're with us in spirit for sure. So let's see. I'm just thinking of any other aspects of dogs and cats that we can talk about tonight.
Sure. So if you already own a pet, pets allow us to become more social and interact with the outside world. Whether it's walking your dog, it's hard to be antisocial and shut yourself or close yourself off to the world when you're outside walking your dog.
Exactly.
It's a nice way to meet people. It's a nice way to be outside, interact with others. I have strangers coming up to me all the time asking to pet my dogs,
of course.
Children.
Oh, look, they're so handsome.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
I won't remember the name of the person, but I'll remember their
Exactly. People recognize me from my boys. Exactly.
There's Koa.
Exactly. And there are other things that people can do and enjoy with their pets, such as agility. I know we were talking about that.
Can we talk about agility?
Sure. It's a great way, once again, like equine therapy, to learn how to communicate with another living thing.
Yes.
And sometimes it's hand cues or whistles or signals that you learn with your pet and then produce the expected results. So agility is great. You get to meet a lot of people.
Very dynamic.
Very dynamic. If you have a competitive spirit in you, then that's great.
Yes, Bracha actually has expressed an interest in agility training. Lily Lily's at Princeton at the library studying physics. She's in love with Albert Einstein, but Bracha is not into books. She is
Athletics.
She's very athletic, and she has asked me when can I sign her up for agility classes.
Which is great because it allows for physical fitness, but also mental stimulation for both owners and their pets.
And I think the bond that you form doing the agility is intense.
Very strong. Very strong.
And fun.
Exactly.
It's so much fun.
Dogs love it.
Yeah.
And owners love it too.
Absolutely.
So it's a win-win.
It is a win-win.
Yeah.
And I know that you and I are partial to our canine children, but I think we still have to respect that some listeners out there might be true hardcore cat people. And so I know we talked about bottle feeding the kitties in the beginning, which is very, very beautiful, but maybe we should talk a little bit more about cats and how they fit into one's life.
Sure. Very, very therapeutic. Most cats, some cats are very vocal, but most cats are very quiet and yet very sensitive to owners' needs.
Very intuitive.
Very much so, and just a simple act of a little cat curling up on your lap after the end of a hard day is extremely rewarding.
Soothing, right?
And soothing. That's right.
Very soothing. Yeah.
And more cats are being introduced into nursing homes because they are more low key for elderly people.
So cats as well as dogs are doing the pet therapy.
That's right.
Now.
Even a lot of nursing homes will have birds.
Birds.
Because of their
what kind of birds?
Their beauty. Parakeets.
Parakeets
are very common.
Is that
but
right?
They're beautiful to look at.
Yeah.
And
do they let you sit on?
Some
sit on
do.
Your shoulder?
It depends. Some birds are temperamental, but
you have to bring a mirror with the parakeet, though, right? Because they really they admire themselves.
They love to look at themselves. I mean, parrots are wonderful.
Yes.
Very
parrots
smart.
I would imagine a parrot would be so entertaining.
Very.
Right.
Very strong personalities.
That's fantastic.
Which is great.
So they have their own unique personalities.
Definitely.
That's great. Well, I have to revert back to cats for a minute to say that I have a phenomenal chiropractor, Franca Peperni, who has many cats, and each one is so unique. And there are two of these cats who actually come into the treatment room and drape themselves one at a time across me. They're very large and luxurious. And the sound of the purring during the adjustment is absolute bliss. They literally become part of the adjustment.
That's right. And
it's a magical experience.
It's very funny because there's two types of purring, or you'll see cats purring for primarily two reasons. One is contentment,
especially when they drool all over you.
Exactly, which I'm sure is the purr that you're hearing.
Yes.
From your chiropractor's cats.
Yes.
But other times we will see cats come into the animal hospital and they will be injured. Let's say they've been hit by a car and have a fractured leg, and they will be purring. And the thought is that purring is therapeutic for healing.
Isn't that
and even
something?
In particular healing of bones.
So they're creating a vibration through their purring that's
right.
actually connected to the healing of the bone tissue.
That's right.
That's phenomenal. Because we know there is vibrational healing, and people use music and drumming, and so you're really talking about their own self-healing ability through this beautiful sound they make.
That's right. Yep, it's the vibrations.
How
of the
powerful
purr.
is that?
It's wonderful. It's very, very nice. We know that the cat is doing this for a particular reason. This is instinctive to them. This is natural for them to try to heal themselves.
Beautiful.
But
I never knew that. That's remarkable.
It's nice when you think that how therapeutic it is for people and how relaxing it is for people to hear this and know that there's a biological reason behind a cat's purr.
It's too bad that we can't learn to create those sounds to help heal ourselves. Although I think that's what the Tibetan monks do when they're chanting.
Exactly.
So I would say we have to listen to the Dalai Lama chant, and then we can also relate to how the cat has this just profound, it's like a mystical ability.
That's right.
To do that. And so that would then lead me to say, well, for people who love pets but might not be able to take on the responsibilities of a dog in terms of the walking and all the outdoor activity that dogs really crave and need. They have to be connected to nature at all times. But some cats can become indoor cats. And so for people who want to have something more than a plant to love, would this not be a good option for them?
Right. It's a very good option. It's less demanding for those people who are housebound, not able to get out as much, or their work schedules or personal lives just don't allow them to spend that time away from home.
Right, right. So that is a good option for those who would like to have a companion.
That's right. Whether it's a cat, and we were talking about this a little last time, a cat, a hamster, a bird, or a dog, there's common links in having animals in your life. And they afford companionship, but they also teach responsibility.
Yes, absolutely.
Because you are in charge of caring for another life.
That's right. It's a big responsibility. You can't say, "Oh, I fed you 3 days ago."
That's right. And they also, it also promotes leadership, I feel.
Yes.
Because they are looking to you for guidance, to keep them safe, to tell them what their daily lives will be.
Yes, they need us to be the alpha.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which is a great role to have.
We may not feel like we're the alpha at all times.
Not in my house.
With certain cats and dogs and birds, but it's very true. We do take on a leadership role.
We do. So, of course, if our dogs have very strong personalities, I won't mention their names here.
Right.
But, they seem to think that they're running the household.
That's right.
and then you have to kind of step in and say, wait a minute, I'm your leader.
Exactly.
You're not my leader, even though I can hardly resist how cute you are.
Right.
Which makes us sometimes become all too soft about it.
Exactly. But that's a good thing.
Yes, it is.
Because it does soften us.
It does.
And we don't always have to be so hard and tough.
That's
and
right.
a lot of demands on we feel placed upon us by the world want to make us tough and non-feeling, but animals bring out the other side of us.
That's
and
true.
Turn us into big softies.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Which I think keeps us connected to our humanity.
We need kindness and we need caring
in the world. We do. And being able to really show your dog affection. I know some of my friends are just cringing when they see my dogs kissing my face. It's like, how do you let your dog kiss your face, and how do you put your hands in your dog's mouth? And it's like so natural. I can't imagine not, right? Right? You're always holding the ball that's covered with saliva.
That's right.
But it's so natural. It kind of feels good.
And they don't care.
And they don't care.
No.
And we don't care either.
No.
It just becomes all very, very natural. I think maybe very much in the same way as a baby is to a mommy and a daddy. The baby can do no wrong, and you're just a pile of mush.
Right. Exactly.
Because of this innocent life. And I want to really emphasize the innocence of dogs and cats and all animals who deserve only our utmost respect
And love.
and love, unconditional love and respect, and that we cannot ever do anything less than that with them. They are innocent and they depend on us. And so just the thought that there is any such thing as cruelty toward any innocent being just enrages me and makes me want to weep all at the same time.
It's,
Completely unacceptable.
yeah, and it's very sad, and it goes on every day.
Yeah, I'm sure you see plenty of that.
Unfortunately, yes. Although I feel we are very lucky in this area and in this part of the world that animals are respected the way
Yes.
they are.
Thank God for that. Absolutely. And we must continue to do that. And to keep those images of the kittens who need to be bottle fed and all the beautiful animals, whatever breed or species that they are, that they really need us to love them, and in return they love us so much. And I hear this wonderful reverb, so it must be a very important station. So, are we still on the air? I hope so. Dr. Downing, do you think that people should bring their puppies to puppy kindergarten class? Do you see benefits in doing that?
I do. Certainly, no animal lives on an island. Sooner or later, they will need to interact with other humans, other animals, and puppy kindergarten teaches the basics, start socializing. Dogs, that's usually, well, there's little kindergarten too, but it helps encourage socialization,
Right.
basic obedience.
Yeah, basic obedience, that's an important
It's important.
one. The big thing I learned is if you can teach your dog to put their tushy on the floor called sit, you're way ahead.
Exactly.
Right? So that's a big, if they can just do that, then you're getting their attention.
Exactly, and they're looking, once again, bringing out the topic of leadership. They're looking for guidance and leadership. Humans too, if we're left to our own, tend to be unhappy if we don't have any sort of order or control in our lives.
That's right. We do not do well with chaos.
No. Same thing with animals.
They need routine.
And seeing cats in shelters, dogs in shelters, without that structure and that human contact or contact with other animals, mentally, it has a negative effect mentally on them.
Well, it's like a person who's in prison.
That's right.
It's just it's so dehumanizing, and for an innocent being to be put in a cage.
Who's done nothing wrong.
Right. They did not commit a crime, and yet they're being punished. It's actually heartbreaking. So if people are out there are listening and you're in a position, a financial, emotional, stable position to adopt, Dr. Downing and I are really encouraging you to explore fostering a pet or adopting a pet, because they all need love. They need a good home.
And I feel the biggest common denominator I've heard from people throughout the years is that in helping animals and rescuing dogs, cats, birds, and
Turtles.
rescuing them, they themselves have been rescued as well.
Yes, that's a very profound statement, that a person who may be in a very dark or difficult place can be transformed on a very spiritual level.
That's right.
By making this commitment to love and take care of a beautiful pet.
That's right.
And make that pet, and I kind of hesitate to use the word pet, because I think ultimately when we love with such an open heart, that creature is a family member.
Is more than a pet.
It's much more than a pet, and whatever you want to call this beautiful dog or cat, they do become part of our family.
Exactly.
And we love them deeply. They compel us to. It's a natural response to them.
That's right. That's right. And that's a good thing.
It really is. So for sure, that is why you must love your work so much.
I do.
It's a no-brainer.
No, because it is a very good thing. It's a very
Yes.
good thing, this human-animal bond.
Yeah.
For many, many reasons. It is a good thing, it's a beautiful thing, and we need more of it.
We do, and I do want to emphasize that this can and should be part of your sober lifestyle, that having this kind of unconditional love and this kind of bond can really enrich your sobriety, whether it's recovery from alcohol, drugs, food, gambling, spending, all of the addictions, that this is such a wonderful place to direct your energy and your focus, that you won't want to do anything
That's right.
but love
right.
this beautiful, beautiful being.
And do right by them.
And do right by them. So I think on that note, we are going to wrap up the show. Are there any other comments that you would like to make before we sign off tonight, Dr. Downing?
Just do your homework. If you are thinking about adopting, rescuing an animal, certainly do your homework. Make sure it is the right thing for you to do at this point in your life. And then, by all means, enjoy.
Yes, so that's right. But first, step back, and as they say in the 12-step rooms, think. Don't do anything impulsively or compulsively. Really work it through. Know that you can take this on because it is a commitment. It's not like you can return the shoes to the store because they didn't fit right. So this is a serious matter.
Commitment.
It's a big commitment, and remember the word commitment, that you are going to take care of this innocent creature.
It's a promise.
It's a promise. That's a beautiful way to put it. So here we are promising, and we do. We love them forever and ever, for sure. Thank you so much for joining us. I feel very teary.
Me too.
Yeah,
It's very emotional.
It's so emotional. It really,
Yeah.
really is. So I want to thank you for being such a wonderful veterinarian, and that you're my veterinarian. I want to acknowledge you that way, and to say how happy I am that you're in my dog's lives.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Well, they love you too very much. In fact, they told me to give you puppy
There you
kisses
go.
after the show. So get ready for the puppy kisses. Okay, well, I want to thank you all for being with us. If you tuned in and we dropped out, we did come back. So I want to thank you again for your patience. We're just human here, and sometimes there are little glitches, and I think that just makes us more like everybody else. We're just regular folks who sometimes just need to take an extra breath or two to keep things moving along. Please join me next Tuesday night at 8 o'clock, or podcast this show anytime at your convenience. I have a wonderful guest next week, a financial advisor, Larry Luxembourg, who is a partner at Lexington Avenue Capital Management. He is definitely someone to listen to. He's going to help us tackle sober finance. I wrote an entire chapter in my book on sober finance. And Larry is going to help really illuminate what sober finance is all about. So remember to tune in next Tuesday at 8. All of these shows are podcasts for your convenience and your listening pleasure. I want you to remember something that's at the top of my book. Remember that if you're going to crave anything, crave living your life to its fullest. Maximize all you have and squander nothing. Thank you again for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Good night.